Not feeling that comfortable coming from the Malaysian side with this very final pick. Yes, we did see that success last game, and
It's not the same conditions.
Exactly.
I will give you that E1 brought this team all the way through M1 with the help of that Grokky in his hands. But this is one of those situations where I think it's about 50-50, and I'm leaning a little bit more towards Bren Esports because their composition is very straightforward and you know exactly what it wants to do.
You know what I was thinking for their last pick?
Mm-hmm.
A Hylos. A Hylos could have reached the backline more. They could have access to it.
Just block the Benedetta.
Block the Benedetta. That could have been the pick, but still, this is their choice. Todak
Block
just
the poker
went
trick.
for the anchor, just went for what brought them victory after victory in M1.
yeah, with that said, you know, whoever wins this matchup will be meeting Alter Ego. With that, gentlemen, we're going in towards our final game of this best of 3. It's either Bren Esports or Todak that will be advancing forward. And we're already seeing a little bit of a catch over the areas. Of course, there's a lot of tension on the stage. And certainly on the cast's desk, we've got mixed opinion about the entirety of the draft at this moment.
Yeah, I definitely would agree that, again, it's one of those things where it's like, where are we looking for those win conditions? How are we looking to kind of pressure the map here? Because Todak has shown that, yes, we can have macro superiority over the map, but if Bren have a good idea of what exactly the draft wants to do, they can easily shut it down with 1 or 2 picks in the draft itself, as we saw in Game 2. So, what kind of situation is this Game 3 looking for?
It's definitely is a very big question here, but I'm really thinking for the fact that, you know, Bren Esports now looking pretty tight with that sort of lineup that they've drafted, very clear things that they want to execute. And honestly, I'm not really giving too much of a bad remark on that saloon because all these games, there's so many great consistent results. Yeah, they might have dropped game number 1, but hey, they really were getting all the picks that they need.
Yeah, no, this is the exact way you build a Harley lineup. We've seen Harley lineups in the playoffs, and they all felt compromised. They all felt like, oh, as soon as I pick the Harley, I have to stack on the magic damage. And what do people do? Athena's shield, call it a day, right? But this time around, it felt more ready. It felt more like, okay, this is what we're doing. If we get the deadly magic, okay. If we don't, then we find another way to get in there and finish the job. But this time, I have to say, Contra, I feel exactly like you, but for Bren last game. Like, you're looking at that last pick Grok and you're like, Like, I know you're good with the hero, man, but
Yeah, I would say it's a little questionable as well.
I would treat the Harley like a Gusion in a sense.
Then why didn't you pick Gusion?
It's not because, well, it's a more stable pick and it doesn't
Harley
really
is,
fall
yeah.
out as much. But if you think about it, when you have a Harley or a Gusion on your team, the other team cannot go for the split push. There's always this chance that a Harley might pop out. Just use Deadly Magic, just use the cards on you, and just go away. You get popped, and that's it. But one of the reasons why a lot of people don't go for this, especially on the teams, is that you really have to have good early game control. If you get a lot of turtles, if you get your buffs, that's going to be great. But these are the kinds of drafts that if you lose early game, it's really hard to come back from.
Yeah, and definitely the Harley is a lot more stable in the early phases of the game where, you know, he could easily just go in there, chuck in the damage, get out of it safely. So definitely a safer pick as compared to a Gusion that easily could be halted midway.
yeah.
You know, to be fair, I will say that at least for Bren, looking at Todak's lineup and their composition, it's a lot more standardized, something that they're familiar looking at. You know, the Sylvana, you know exactly what she wants to do. You know exactly what they want to be, where they want to be at level 4 itself. I think that's going to be, you know, the first benchmark that we're going to have to keep our eyes on at level 4 for both of these sides. Because again, the pick potential from Todak really, really high, as well as the disruption. However, just the exponential amount of damage coming out of Bren is ridiculous. Deadly Magic, Feathered Airstrike on top of everything else. Those two alone, on top of everything else they have in their lineup, that's kind of scary here if you're walking alone in the river.
Yeah, and not to mention the Fatal Links from Lusty.
Exactly.
And everybody knows, if you've been watching M2 so far, especially in the group stages, opponents of Todak have banned out Atlas because of how well E1 used it.
Yeah, he could have possibly get this pick
They're
for
familiar.
himself.
They're
And
familiar.
not only that, like I felt like the Tamus pick could have come a little bit later, and even if they ban, very unlikely ban out a Tamus, probably a Lapu Lapu is more likely the case, right? They could have gone for the Baxia as well. Which,
Baxia got
honestly,
banned.
yeah.
Phase 4, yeah, second phase.
That's why, like, they actually choose this Tamus on pick number 3.
Could have gone first. Yeah, could have gone first. You're right.
Yeah, the order, again, I don't know. That's why I didn't agree with the blind pick Thamos. Like, I didn't exactly understand
It was
where
a
they were looking
wasted
for.
opportunity.
Yeah, almost. But I think, at the end of the day, Thamos has one job, and it's either he's going to be looking to cut those waves, speed up those neutral objectives, or at the very least just start peeling away their opponents. But the problem with Thamos, and I think a lot of the pros kind of understand this, especially after Season 4, where Thamos really started to dip off when a lot of these offliners came in, was that he could easily be countered the moment you could get a deadly blade, and eventually the Sea Halberd, especially for Hayabusas who had to deal with Thamoses, where it's like, I'm losing the lane, okay, I get the Bloodlust Axe, okay, no big deal. Finally, I get the Sea Halberd, okay, I 100% win this matchup.
Yep, and Butters, like we saw some pretty interesting mages coming in towards this draft. Like, who will you pay attention to in this both sides of the lineup?
I guess Moon on the Sylvana has this capability of just building up items. He won't be forced to go for the defensive ones. If he has an early start, then that means he could build into the concentrated energy, probably a truncheon or two. It could be one of the things that they need to look at. A Clock of Destiny is there as well, but it could be optional. Like, if you really have a good game, you can start out with that so that you can get the benefits early. On the other side, it's going to be the Harley, because Harley is in the heart and soul of this 3 mage setup. When you get the magic resistance, when you put it on, that's going to mean an Abyssal Arrow will hurt more, an Abyssal Trap will hurt more, Feathered Airstrike is going to hurt much, much more. And seeing how this two team plays, you really have to look at how they make or how they initiate their team fights. Game number 1, Todak showed us that they're really good in terms of the team fight. Teamwork makes the dream work for them at game number 1. Game number 2, just showed there a bit of the tenacity of Bren Esports. They just showed you that even in the weirdest of lineups, they will still try to find a way to make it up on top. Game number 3, with Atlas and Lusty just being there for his team, I think in terms of execution, this is still going to be a game where individual mechanics, they require you to have the good individual mechanics, but teamwork at the end of the day, at the end of this game, who has the better teamwork on their side, they are going to have the 1 point that they're aiming for. It just advances the tournament.
Yeah, no, I mean, I think what you're trying to say here, Butters, is at the minimum, these two teams we have proven are mechanically gifted. Like, they are toe to toe, right? And prior to the playoff starting, a lot of people would say Bren Esports were the favorites. And right now, Todak is just equally able to eliminate them as the other. So, man, this pause might be the most gut-wrenching of all pauses in M2 so far.
It's the worst to see. But to answer your question, Contra, easily just look at Atlas and just look at Sylvana. Those are the 2 heroes that you need to keep your eyes on here, because no matter what, you're expecting Harley as well as the Farsa to dish out damage and Selena to get those picks. But if Atlas is just kind of hanging around, can't get those Fatal Links together, can't find that Wombo combo to set things up, it's really not going to matter. And the same thing can be said about Moon on Sylvana.
That's right. Back in, season 5 of the MPL MYSG, Atlas was very, very relevant, but it has definitely fell out of meta with things like, Sylvana that we are currently seeing right now actually coming into play. And I just felt like it's just about these two trying to get those sort of big pickups, like you said. And there's a big bounty on that Harley's head. Who else could possibly go in for the catch if not for, that Sylvana out there? And, speaking of pauses here, back in M1, there's going to be those memes out there for Todak, Todak pause. So there's this running thing that
Oh,
was
yeah.
going on for seasons after
It's a
seasons.
signature thing now.
I mean, it started in Season 4, and that's when EVOS SG was able to get the championship win, and Todak was, contesting them for it, and they only got first runner-up. A lot of pauses happened then, and from then on, since as Season 5, it's just every single game in the MPL itself, just somewhere in between, the pause had to come in. I hope this isn't one of those situations.
Okay, so in fact, the pauses are actually spelled P-A-U-S without the E because...
Pause.
Yes.
Uh-huh.
In Malay, paus or ikan paus is actually a whale. So, yeah, they definitely swim with the fishes, the swordfish.
Deep. It's
Fact.
deep.
Yeah, it definitely runs deep in the
We're
vein.
going deep.
Very,
Going
very,
very
deep.
deep. Now, I'm
Yeah.
seeing the draft here for both of the teams. I just have to say that I'm really expecting a lot from Flap.
Really?
Flap was phenomenal with Benedetta when he used it against Tennis Gaming.
True, true.
And I'm excited because we've seen a lot of side lane Benedetta go for the off-tank build with the Brute Force Breastplate, the Oracle, the Queen's Wings. They don't go for the damage Benedetta. But Flap, when he played that hero, he just went full on damage. He got a Brute Force Breastplate, that's for sure, but he just likes the damage all in all. And Flap Teasy here is with the Festival of Blood. He really just wants to get the lifesteal.
Oh, heck yeah. Let's see how they're going to play this out. Finally, we get into game. It's going to be Bren Esports versus Todak.
This is for sudden death, ladies and gentlemen. Both teams fighting for tournament life. And as expected, this is the laning we were looking for. Quite a big visit by E1 to the bottom lane. Lusty looking to catch someone as the Atlas, and that's going to be Moon being chased out. Poker trick here by Carl Teasy, and rotation on the bottom lane. Flap Teasy caught up by the Spiral Strangling. Oh, that's going to be the jump in. The perfect match. Moon dealing quite a bit of damage on Lusty. Few sets a trap underneath Moon, and they disengage. Oh, arrow misses.
Oh, good sidesteps all across the board. I think you can definitely see how antsy everybody is. They're kind of tiptoeing around each other. It's like, I don't want to go too far. I don't want to get caught like this. A single mistake could cost them so much more than they would expect.
Yep. Oh, that's a catch by Few, bursting down with the garrote and the trap right after. An interesting duel situation here between Moon and him.
Yeah, both of them can't really push waves that fast, but, they're going to try. But Carl TC, he's already level 4, and Moon at level 1. Oh, boy. Oh, boy. Something's telling me he forgot to buy the mask.
So far, I'm liking that Formaze has stuck to this. Again, when a team like Todak is put up against the wall, you know that they're sticking to their guns, because any team would have just crumbled and said, okay, just put Chico back in the jungle. Put Chico back in the jungle, but I think they really prepared for Formaze this time.
Yeah, so it looks like, Moon, he was able to kind of purchase the mask. It's just that the wave had to crash in at time. But Butters, what do you think about the current situation of the game?
Looking at how they set up, they're trying to get the buffs as much as possible. Well, it's gonna respawn in just a bit. Now the Harley is at the middle lane. He's just trying to clear out the waves. Now the blue buff is up, or the purple buff is up
Close!
for Bren Esports, and that is going to be the flame shot.
Close!
Almost taking down Chico.
1
Now-
HP!
Now, at least for the side of Bren Esports, they're giving Chico problems. They might not have taken him down, but the thing is, he is forced to go back.
Yeah, an auto -1 now. Easy turtle take here by Bren Esports. Skyrocketing their gold lead up to 500 now, and they are trying to engage here. That's Moon caught with the deadly magics, not enough. Other magic spells able to capitalize, and they disengage.
I got to give it to Bren. They are making sure they are covering their previous mistakes in Game 1, whereby they didn't really keep too much track on their waves, but now that they saw, okay, Wan is recalling back to base. There's no way she can push. We're going to the top side of the map where we can kind of monitor if they push too far and still get the turtle. Minimal loss, major profits all across the board.
Well, Slap he's just contesting the farm of Chico.
Yep, here we go. Electo final blow used to clear the wave. Nice catch by Few. Purify here by Chico. Oh, from the back. In comes Lusty. Then
Look
pop
at Carl.
the
Look
fatal
at Carl.
link. Easy in the back line. There's the deadly magics. Pew, pew, pew. And, oh, they missed it. There it is. The delay damage, first blood drawn. That's going to be the catch onto one. Karltzy
Look at Flap.
gets the brunt of the Imperial Justice now. Moon in the back running away. Flapteasy once more. And there's not enough dashes in here to take down E1.
If he only had Electro Final Blow, that could have made all the difference in the world.
I mean, he had to get out of there. Come on. Unfortunately, like, it's one of those situations where you have to make the best of it, no matter how you look. But they are going to get quite a lot of gold here off of those barriers from the turrets.
I like that Flap is not shy to use the Electro Final Blow because he did count that, hey, team fight just ended. I'm pretty sure maybe less than a minute from now nothing's gonna happen, but hold on. Up top, that's gonna be X-Ray popping the
Oh!
Beta Links at Lusty gets one. That's gonna be X-Ray taken out, followed by 4 Maze. Karltzy follows through 2 for none so far. Rebo escapes with just 1 HP.
And Moon, just doing Moon things. He catches Karltzy
There's an
once
Imperial
again.
Justice, but here comes Lusty to the rescue, and there's gonna be an arrow. Oh! Oh! Moon! Moon goes down.
The plays are not working out for Todak's side. I mean, yes, they are succeeding in terms of the first initial catch, but Bren, they've got some really good responses. And honestly, can we get a counter for the entire of M2? How many people have survived with literally 1 HP? Because this has occurred way too often.
Just keeps happening, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the backup, the response from the other teams is just being way too good. It's evolving into something that we can't even understand. Right now, Flapteasy goes in.
Yep, E1 gonna be well charging out, but there is the period. There's the exclamation point. Now Chiku goes in with the crossbow tank, takes one. Few is gonna go down, and here is the jump. Moon misses the Imperial Justice. Flapteasy gets away, but will he live? There from the back, trying to poke him. There's the dash, sword intent. Lusty now coming in. Perfect match. Oh, is he gonna get it? He's gonna call it off. Not enough damage to waste a Fatal Links.
However, I mean, topside, they were able to break the top tier 1, which is a huge win because Bren, now they are 5k ahead and they will be able to steal this away. Oh,
he did.
yeah.
Retribution.
Oh.
And that is a huge loss for 4Maze. Thinking about it, the Roger runs on the dive mechanic 100%, and what he needs is that orange buff. Now, without the orange buff, his damage output is lessened significantly. So that now, Todak, what do they do about this? Do they force the fights or do they turtle?
Oh, it looks like it's Bren who's getting forced into a fight. Few here destroyed by 4 Maze, but there's the comeback. Atlas, Lusty, there's the Fatal Links. That's Moon going down, and from the back, Flapteasy with his own orange goes in trying to chase E1, but again, the blessing on Grok able to save him. Enough movement speed to retreat underneath his turret. Oh, but it's not done. X-Ray being chased down. That's gonna be one more from Flapteasy. Y'all thought it was done, but it's not over. That's 4-4-1 in favor of Bren Esports.
Oh, Chico,
Oh, no.
what are you doing?
Oh, it's still not done! What? What? Here we go! Electric Boogaloo, the fight, part 2. Chiku goes for the crossbow tank. Flapteasy gonna be the mark here. Oh, they're gonna be bouncing back. That's the flicker by Lusty, and they disengage.
Oh, Chiku, he's got the mechanics to keep himself alive and at least get 1 return kill, but overall it's just wins across the board for Bren. They're 3k ahead. As we go into the 7th minute of the game, they're going to be able to start contesting for this turtle. I mean, Bren is doing a great job, and this snowball is still rolling.
Was that the best play? Probably not. They could have just taken down the turret. That could have gave them the opening to the jungle if they wanted to, but they just have to go for the kill.
Yep, here we go. This is Todak threatening the take underneath the turret. That's gonna be 1. Moon down by Flapteasy. Another. It's a double for this young man, and he goes and gets E1 as well, and 2 for none for a turret. Is that worth it at this point?
Nope, not at all. I mean, they got the turret regardless, and it is a mid-turret, which is important, but again, can they abuse its strategical effect at this point at being this far behind? And the 21k mark here, going into 22, Bren is going to be able to hit their second item, and this is going to be a tough game here, and Todak is going to play a lot of catch-up for the next 5 minutes.
Demon Hunter's sword, though, is up on Chiku, so he's getting his items. Although the map isn't really sided to them in terms of control, but at least Chiku is getting his items.
Yeah, so you're saying it's more Chico now than Formaze, huh?
Yeah, it is.
All right, well, that's a push here by Bren Esports in
Chico
the
gets
mid.
caught.
Oh, no! That's going to be a couple of blasts from the Federal Airstrike, and from the back, Formaze catches Rebo and Moon as well. They're waiting. I think they know. Arrow thrown out here by Few. Oh, and the garrote! That's going to be Rebo. Blasted down, Fatal Links onto one, saves Rebo, but only for a second. E1 takes down the Farsa, and now Moon is the one who's next. Deadly Magic's being rained down upon. Oh, the strangling keeps him alive, but only for so long. 1-for-1 so far.
Oh, really good idea coming in from Moon. I'm pretty sure he's already purchased the concentrated energy to be able to get some major spell vamp there. Let's have a look. Yes, he does. But now, again, they need the Athena shields. The Athena shields are going to be so important in this game.
Looking at it, Carl TC goes for the Star Shard. That gives him the extra firepower that he needs. Flapteezy has a lot of items, and if you would look at Rebo right now with the Lightning Truncheon and the Clock of Destiny, even Few has the Clock of Destiny, I think he's gonna go for Calamity Reaper. Next Dominance Ice is on Lusty. And on the other side, Chico here is probably planning to get an Athena Shield.
Hold up, Lusty finds him. That's 2 he caught. Oh, Fatal Links just underneath the turret. Arrow in by Few. That's going to be transformed, but it's not enough. Few gets him. Formaze goes down, and it's only E1 left. X-Ray, I think he's abandoned his ally here. Off camera, Kaltisi takes down one. Chico is blasted. Feathered airstrike underneath the turret. E1 survives, but only for a second more. As Flapteezy, it's 3 different fights happening on 3 different fronts. And Flapteezy gonna be disengaging. Oh my god, Bren is dominating. They're saying it's clobbering time.
Yep, and they're fighting. Oh, here we go. X-Ray. He's going to be popping off the Vengeance, but nothing is spell vamp. Is that going to be enough damage? No, it is, and he is still good.
And while that's happening, the bottom lane gets cleaned up. There are no more outer turrets here for the side of... There are no more outer turrets onto the bottom lane here for the side of Todak. And Bren Esports, 10 minutes in, they're going for the Lord. I don't think Todak can do anything about this.
Yeah, they're going for the throat here. They want to end this game as quick as possible to abuse how their comp has been working out thus far. But let's see how this fight is going to end up. They're on the run.
Nice use of the feathered airstrike, and now X-Ray caught out by the flame shot and Kaltisi finishing the job. Fatal Links onto one. Moon is looking low. He is going to get a few life steals from the Spiral Strangling, but will not survive anyways. Third one for Bren Esports. That's going to be E1. Chico is alive with less than half health. Triggers a crossbow tank underneath the turret, and Formaze, not smart for him to engage here, and now Kaltisi finds him. He's able to blast him, but there's the counter go by the Farsa. That's one. Flapteezy gets the kill. Stacks on that Festival of Blood. One defender left for Todak.
Yeah, and this is it. I mean, Chico has to figure this out. Moon is coming back up in 3, X-Ray in 1, and they're going to back away just to kind of wait for this next upcoming Lord, or at the very least get another free pick, because right now Todak has been taking a lot of fights that they didn't need to take, and with 11k goalie on the side of Bren, they could really force another one if Todak get a little too angsty and force the fight again.
Look at Moon, he's just using that concentrated energy, and Bren Esports really hasn't gotten a Necklace of Durance for that, so he'll get away with it, but he doesn't really have enough damage to supply that life steal with spell vamp rather. And looking at it, Flapteezy is just going 1v1 with Moon, and Moon, even though he had the chance to lock in Benedetta, he wouldn't, he just can't.
Close one on to E1 as well. If there was a Scorch on there somewhere, that would have been GG for the Grok. But right now, X-Ray as well pops the Cauldron Inferno just to survive. Goes back in. This is a surgical, just methodical destruction of the base of Todak.
Yep, 13k ahead, and there we go. E1 doesn't have enough damage, but X-Ray, he's going in hard.
So many targets, so many people to steal life from, but instead he's bursted down. Kartizi takes down the Tams. X-Ray, see you later. Now 4 defenders left in the base of Todak. This is dire. This is very close. This is scary. Hold on to your horses, ladies and gentlemen, because there's a Fatal Links here by Atlas. Lusty. That's going to be Few with the alley-oop. And now E1 from the back, destroyed by Rebo. And now it's just 2 of them left. Chico and Moon, can they defend? Bren Esports is here to finish the job, what they started now. That's going to be Chico with the crossbow tang. He's going to come down and snap back to reality. Bren Esports takes game number 3.
Bren Esports, ladies and gentlemen, finding the right adjustments